Now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be...
For now, what Jake Paul is doing seems to be working for him, but the moment he steps into the ring with a genuine, seasoned fighter, things could turn ugly. Recently, Floyd Mayweather reacted to...
Not even interested.
No, nothing.
Do you think it's good for boxing, not good for boxing?
New training footage of Mike Tyson, and it's clear he's not thrilled about Tyson's upcoming bout with Jake Paul. Mayweather's comments have sparked further debate around the fight.
A lot of people think that Netflix is good for boxing.
I think Netflix is good for boxing, but at that special fight, I think Netflix is doing something wrong there. I think Netflix being involved, yes, is good, but no in that kind of fight.
And it's not just him weighing in. Nate Diaz has also taken a firm stance in the discussion. In a recent interview, Diaz didn't hold back. Mike Tyson's the GOAT. Man, I'm on Mike Tyson's side, so we'll see what happens. I think he's seen it all. Diaz argued that Tyson...
You think of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson? That fight just got announced. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. They're going to fight, huh? Yes, they're going to fight. Do you think Jake Paul could beat Mike Tyson? I don't think so.
Brings a level of skill, experience, and ring instinct that Jake Paul hasn't yet reached in his boxing career. He also hinted that he's far from done with his own of settling. Jake Paul, he said, is only one of several names on his hit list. I 100% guarantee I'm going to fight Conor McGregor.
Yeah. But Mike Tyson is always going to be a fighter at heart. You know what I mean? So it's really just how he prepares. And it's going to be a good fight, bro. Jake Paul, he's not, I think he knows it. I mean, it's Mike Tyson. You got to get ready. So
McGregor again. And I'll probably fight Jake Paul again. Leon Edwards again. Maybe even more. This is far from over. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez has made his feelings crystal clear. He has zero interest in watching Tyson and Paul square off. There's history here. Paul...
just, hopefully it's not, nothing too crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The thing,
That's
Mike is 60, bro.
That's the only thing that worries me, bro.
Yeah.
But like I said, if Mike goes on there and, gives Jake a good fight, we're not going to be surprised. You know what I mean?
Mike, and he from Brown.
Has repeatedly called out Canelo, challenging him to a fight. While Canelo now acknowledges Paul's presence in the sport, he's not remotely tempted to face him. Not really. Not even interested. No, nothing. Canelo told reporters when asked to...
Mike, he's like I say, he's a world champion. He's a fighter at heart. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a good fight.
Do you like these type of fights, like the influencer or just the... I don't know what to call it influencer, but just, the fights that's not real boxers in that way. Like, do you like that?
You know what, bro? I don't hate on them. I used to not like them back then, but now that I see that, you got these influencers, you got these other people, they're actually showing commitment, they're showing their passion for boxing.
I think Jake...
And at the end,
about the matchup. When pressed further, he added, "Do I think it's good for boxing? Not good for boxing." That said, Canelo did point out one upside. Netflix streaming the fight. He admitted that the platform could be great for promoting the sport, but felt they missed a golden opportunity. A lot of people think Netflix is good for boxing, and I agree. But for that particular fight, I think they're doing something wrong. Netflix being involved, yes, that's good, but not in fights like this. Manny Pacquiao has also chimed in on the matter. Following the official announcement of Tyson versus Paul, Tyson boldly declared that he would end Paul's boxing career. Pacquiao seems to agree with that prediction. When asked whether Jake Paul could realistically beat a 57-year-old Mike Tyson, Pacquiao's answer was short and direct: "I don't believe it will happen." British boxing legend Ricky Hatton didn't mince words either. The former champion, in two weight classes, openly disapproved of the matchup and the wider trend of YouTube personalities entering the professional boxing ring. "I get the pushing, the shoving, the name-calling, holding each other back, but some of the great champions of old would be turning in their graves watching this," Hatton said. Still, Hatton admitted that the boxing world has shifted toward entertainment, with YouTubers taking on MMA fighters and MMA fighters challenging boxers. This is the world we're in now. Entertainment, YouTubers versus MMA, MMA versus boxers. It can exist. As long as big fights like Garcia versus Crawford or Spence versus Fury happen, we can let them have their world and we'll keep ours. David Benavidez also acknowledged Tyson's warrior spirit, but voiced concern about his age and the physical toll it could take. Mike Tyson will always be a fighter at heart. It's really about how he prepares. This could be a good fight, but Jake Paul knows it's Mike Tyson and he has to get ready. Benavidez emphasized that Tyson's preparation in the months leading up to the fight will be crucial. His physical condition, stamina, and training will determine whether he can compete at a high level. And while Paul's rise in boxing has been impressive, facing a legend like Tyson is a major step up in competition. He warned Paul not to underestimate Tyson's experience and urged him to approach the fight with the highest level of respect. Mike's a world champion, a fighter at heart. If he gets in there and gives Jake a good fight, nobody should be surprised. Despite his concerns about Tyson's age, Benavidez admitted he has grown more accepting of influencer fights over time. I used to not like them, but now I see that these influencers are actually showing commitment and passion for boxing. That's something I can respect. Concerns remain though. Mauricio Suleiman, head of the WBC, admitted Tyson could regret stepping back into the ring. He recalled the struggles Tyson faced at the end of his career, being out of shape and going through a difficult stage in life, but also remembered how Tyson impressed fans in his exhibition with Roy Jones Jr. This time, it's different. Jake Paul is a young, strong, upcoming fighter with huge social media reach. If it's an exhibition, we should support it, but it still carries risks. Suleiman stressed that no matter the fighter's age, every boxing match comes with inherent risks. One punch can change everything. Every fight is dangerous. Regardless of age, weight, or anything else, one punch can alter your life. At the WBC, we do everything possible to minimize the risks for fighters stepping into the ring, he said. Former professional boxer Kenny Reinford also weighed in, confident that Tyson would still come out on top despite health concerns. Mike has lived hard and trained hard, and he's still doing it now. Jake Paul has never taken a real heavyweight punch. He struggled with Tommy Fury at cruiserweight. The real problem for him will be the moment Tyson lands. Reinford acknowledged that Tyson's age does present challenges. His stamina isn't what it used to be, and Paul is sharp and quick. He predicted that Tyson's best chance would be to end the fight early. Mike needs to finish this fast, 2 or 3 rounds at most. The longer it goes, the more punishment he'll take. Paul could win on points or even stop him late, but I see Tyson stopping him inside 3 rounds. As speculation builds, Tyson himself has been feeding the hype. Recently, he released short clips of his training on social media, reminding everyone of the power and ferocity that made him one of boxing's most feared fighters. In the footage, Tyson moves with surprising speed, darting across the gym like a predator stalking its prey. His punches still carry the same explosive snap that defined his prime years. But it wasn't just the visuals that grabbed attention. It was his chilling message aimed directly at Jake Paul. Alongside the video, Tyson posted a short caption, "Can't wait for this to be Jake." The statement was clear, cold, and calculated, a warning that he intends to make the YouTuber-turned-boxer regret stepping into the ring with him. The combination of Tyson's aggressive training clips, his intimidating social media posts, and confident interview soundbites have amplified excitement for the match. Fans are now wondering if Tyson can truly turn back the clock and deliver a vintage performance, or if Jake Paul can rise to the moment and beat one of boxing's most iconic names. Interestingly, Jake Paul himself seems to be feeling the pressure. According to IFN, Paul has admitted that watching Tyson's padwork videos makes him nervous. He even went so far as to call Tyson the toughest opponent he's faced to date. But while fans are fascinated by Tyson's comeback, Floyd Mayweather's reaction was a blend of admiration and concern. Mayweather acknowledged Tyson's intensity and skill, but questioned whether it was wise for a 57-year-old to take on a younger, fresher opponent like Paul. This reaction is particularly interesting given the history between Mayweather and Tyson. There has long been tension between the two, with Tyson once openly stating that he would have loved to fight Mayweather if they were in the same weight class. "I would have loved to have fought him. I wish he was my weight," Tyson once said in a conversation with Steve Farhood. "We could never fight, of course, because of the size difference, but I wouldn't fight him the way others have fought him. I'd be mean, I'd be dirty. You have to do everything to fight him because he's just that good." Tyson admitted that facing Mayweather cleanly would be nearly impossible. "It's almost impossible to fight Floyd clean. It's so hard to beat him. I don't care who you are. That style is very difficult to overcome." Tyson has also taken jabs at Mayweather over the years, especially when Mayweather compared himself to Muhammad Ali. Tyson firmly dismissed the claim, calling Mayweather delusional. "He's very delusional," Tyson said. "If he was anywhere near that realm of greatness, he could take his kids to school by himself without bodyguards. Greatness isn't hiding from the people. Greatness is being accepted by the people." Mayweather, on the other hand, has had his own criticisms about the state of boxing. Back in 2020, he complained about the number of championship belts in circulation, saying there were too many titles diluting the sport. "There's no such thing as a super champion," Mayweather said. "Every belt you see requires a sanctioning fee. People don't realize this, but that's why there are so many, because for each one, someone gets paid." Tyson didn't agree with that view. His perspective was simple. More belts mean more fighters getting paid. If there's only one champion and 10 contenders, it would take forever for everyone to get a shot. 3 champions means more fights, more money, and more opportunity for everyone. This business is about money. While some in the boxing world cheer Tyson's return, others are openly questioning the wisdom of it, and few have been as blunt as Bernard Hopkins. The legendary former middleweight and light heavyweight champion didn't mince words when asked about Tyson's decision to fight Jake Paul. For Hopkins, this isn't just about age, it's about the irreversible risks that come with it. Once you're past your mid-50s, you're not supposed to be taking headshots from a trained professional. It doesn't matter if it's 3 rounds or 12, Hopkins said in a recent interview. You can't reverse brain damage. You can't reverse what might happen if one punch lands the wrong way. Hopkins acknowledged Tyson's greatness, calling him one of the most explosive heavyweights in history, but quickly followed up with a reality check. Mike's still Mike, the aura, the intimidation, the history. But Father Time is undefeated. Every fighter who tries to prove otherwise eventually learns the hard way. To Hopkins, the danger isn't just the fight itself, it's what comes after. Recovery time, lingering injuries. And the toll on Tyson's nervous system could all be far worse now than when he was in his 20s or 30s. Hopkins compared the situation to other legends who stayed in the sport too long. We've seen this story before, heroes who didn't know when to walk away. And it's always the same, the fans cheer when they return, but they're not there when the fighter's struggling years later. Still, Hopkins admitted there's an element of inevitability to Tyson's decision. This isn't about money for him, it's about identity. Fighters don't just fight in the ring. They fight the urge to come back when they're done. That's a harder fight than anything inside the ropes. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is leaning into the role of the younger challenger, firing verbal shots to hype the event while trying to keep the narrative in his favor. In recent press appearances, Paul has been calling Tyson an outdated version of himself and suggesting that the aura is gone. Of course, those comments are calculated, a mix of marketing and psychological warfare. Paul knows Tyson feeds off criticism, and part of his strategy may be to make Tyson burn too much energy trying to prove him wrong. But if Jake Paul expected his words to rattle Tyson, he may be disappointed. In his own interviews, Tyson has been nothing but calm and controlled, speaking with the quiet menace of someone who believes in the outcome long before the first bell. This is what I do, Tyson said when asked about the dangers of fighting. At 57, people keep telling me about my age. I've been hearing that since I was 35. My job is to fight. That's it. I've done it my whole life. And I've hurt men much younger and much bigger than Jake Paul. It's clear Tyson isn't approaching this fight like a gimmick or a payday exhibition. Sources close to his camp say his training intensity is shockingly high for someone his age, with sessions that leave younger sparring partners gasping for breath. But there's still an air of mystery around his full game plan. Will Tyson try to bulldoze Paul in the opening rounds, leaning on raw power and aggression, or will he pace himself, conserving energy to avoid gassing out in the later stages? Whatever the approach, Tyson has been careful not to reveal too much. Even his training videos, as ferocious as they look, are likely only a glimpse of what he's preparing. Hopkins, however, isn't convinced strategy will make the difference. You can have the best plan in the world, but your body still has to execute it, he said. When you're pushing 60, your body can betray you, and in boxing, that's the difference between winning and waking up not remembering the final punch. Despite the warnings, tickets for the fight are reportedly selling fast, and pay-per-view projections are already climbing. Whether fans are tuning in to witness a Tyson comeback or a Jake Paul upset, the buzz is undeniable. And for all the concern, one truth remains. Boxing has always been about moments. One fight, one round, one punch can change everything. Tyson knows it. Paul knows it. And the rest of the boxing world is counting down to see which man will have that moment. Fight night is almost here, and the tension is electric. On one side, Jake Paul, the brash disruptor who built his fame outside the ring but now seeks legitimacy inside it. On the other, Mike Tyson, the living embodiment of raw power and intimidation, stepping through the ropes at 57 with something to prove. The narratives couldn't be more different. Youth versus legacy, speed versus experience, internet fame versus boxing history. Every stare-down, every press conference, every training clip has only added fuel to the fire. And when that bell rings, all the talk ends. For Jake Paul, it's the biggest risk of his career. For Mike Tyson, it could be his last chance to remind the world why his name still makes opponents flinch. Whether you're betting on the underdog or the icon, one thing is certain. The boxing world will be watching. History isn't just made in the record books. It's made in nights like this. So, who will write the final chapter? Don't just hear about it. Witness it. Live it. Mark your calendar. Be there when Tyson and Paul finally collide.